Jungkook, who are they? Seems like we have new students, but why is it so crowded around them? He said as he noticed the crowd near the university gate. Many boys and girls were gathered there. Girls were pretending to fall down when they saw such a handsome man entering inside. Squalling could be heard to the place where Jungkook, Jin, Yoongi, and Taehyung were sitting. Taehyung and Suga turned around as they were facing the back towards the gate, only to find the crowd, but no one was visible. Jin, seems like it is two of boys. Yoongi turned around as he made a unbothered look and rolled his eyes. Jungkook, Taehyung, do you know them? You don't seem bothered. Yoongi, well, I don't. Jin, you do. Who are they? You really know them, don't you? Wait, isn't it your cousin? Taeyang looked back as he heard the cousin word from Jin. Suga, what? How did you know? I don't remember telling anyone. Jin, probably you told me last year, didn't you? When we first joined and you were searching for a house to live in. Yoongi, I don't remember I told you. God, don't tell anyone, I don't want to get embarrassed. Jin, but I think he is really handsome. Well, I don't compliment anyone, but he needs that one. He deserves it. He said as he looked at a figure far away which was barely visible. Thiang immediately turned around only to see a boy of almost his height and looking as handsome as he could even imagine. He was looking ethereal. Thiang just got lost in his beautiful features. He didn't know why his heart started beating faster and a feeling grew up inside that he never felt. The boy helped one of the girl who fell down due to the crowd running behind him. He asked the girl something which Thiang assumed that he asked if the girl was fine, and the girl nodded in response, bowing to Jimin. The boy said a little louder, "Please don't do it. You might get hurt because of this. Anyways, you are going to see me every day," he said with a small smile as everyone slowly started backing off. Now Theon could see him more better. He saw another guy standing beside him. He seemed a little bit taller than the guy. Theon noticed the guy looking towards him with a bright smile and waved at them. Seeing the guy's eyes smile, Taeyang was taken aback and his heart just skipped a bit. He was looking at him as his heart started beating even more faster until he realized that he was sitting with Yoongi. He looked towards Yoongi and shook him a bit. Taeyang, hey, your cousin is waving at you. Yoongi, yeah, don't call me. Just let him go. He sat still, not turning around, while the guy was about to come towards them, but was stopped by a girl. The girl was holding a flower behind her back, which could be seen by Theung. It somewhat made Theung a bit sad, or maybe jealous. Chin, wow, lucky he got girlfriend as soon as he came to the university. This time Yoongi finally looked back as he saw the girl and he let out a small chuckle before turning back while shaking his head as no. Jungkook, what happened? Yoongi, he is not going to accept her. Jungkook, and how did you know? Yoongi, just see. Well, he is not into girls. And this grabbed Theung's attention, who was feeling a bit down. Theung, what do you mean he is not into girls? Yoongi, he is interested in boys. Theung, really? His eyes showed excitement and happiness as he got more curious to know about his type. Jin, but what is his name? You didn't told us his name yet. Yoongi, you only said that you know he is my cousin, then why don't you know about his name? Jin, yeah. How am I supposed to know his name? You didn't told me his name. You might have told me that he's your cousin, but you don't remember you didn't send me his name. Yoongi. Yeah, whatever. It's Jimin. Jungkook and the one beside him. Yoongi, what? Isn't he alone? Jungkook, na. Look at there. Yoongi again turned around to see another guy beside him. And that guy definitely grabbed Yoongi's attention. His heartbeat also rose as he saw that guy, but got distracted by his friends again. Yoongi, maybe it's his friend. I don't remember him. He said, a bit shuddering as he took a small glance before looking back. Taeyang, what's your brother's type? Yoongi, he's not my brother. Taeyang, yeah, whatever. Your cousin. Now tell me. Yoongi, what? Why do you want to know? Taeyang, just asking. Yoongi, oh really? Taeyang, yeah. Can't you just say it? Yoongi, well, he is into someone who is senior and older than him. That guy should be taller than him, should take care of him like Prince, is possessive, doesn't look at anyone else because Jimin is very loyal, should love him the most, consider him as his life, and he should have his first kiss for Jimin because he is totally saving it for his future husband. Well, he is gonna die single like this. Jungkook, I don't think it's true that he didn't date it earlier. Yoongi, he never did. He has been rejecting so many girls and boys since his high school. Jin, now I understand why you are so much jealous of him. Yoongi glared at Jin as Jin didn't make eye contact with Yoongi anymore. He laughed it off as Yoongi kept on glaring at him. Taeyang, yeah, come on. It's just a joke, he said as he patted on Yoongi's back, still not being able to take away his eyes from Jimin. Jimin was taking too much time talking to the girl, which soon ended as he ran towards the group sitting. Jimin, hey! He screamed as he was about to hug Yoongi, but Yoongi kept his hand in front, not letting Jimin hug him. Jimin, huh? So cruel. You aren't even happy that I am here. Yoongi, and why won't I be? I am really very happy, he said with a sarcastic tone. Jimin, yeah, I can see that. Yoongi, who is that guy with you? Jimin, him. He is Hoseok. Didn't I told you about it? Yoongi, yes you did. I forgot about that. Jimin, you forget everything very soon. Jin, I know, right? He does, and look at him, he isn't even accepting it. Jimin, I know, right, Sambe? Well, I didn't knew you would look this handsome in person. You are surely Jin Sanbe, isn't it? Jin, oh, you know me? Jimin, of course I know you. And you are really very handsome. Jin, I know, right? I'm worldwide handsome, Jimin, of course you are. Yoongi, stop lying. Jimin, only you think that. Jealous freak. Yoongi, you are saying that to me? Let's see who is going to take you to principal room and get everything ready for you. Let's see who is going to take you to see around the university. Jimin, don't do. Anybody would do it except you. Isn't it, Taeyang Sunbe? He said as he looked towards Taeyang, who was continuously looking at Jimin, not being able to take off his eyes. He forgot how to blink until he heard his name from Jimin. His heart beat rose even more. It seemed like it will come out any moment soon. Young, of course, I will. He smiled as Jimin made I told you face. Jimin, and where were you? You know I was waiting. I told you to come and pick me up from the bus stand. Yoongi, it's not even that far. You could have just come here. And of course you are here. Jimin, then what about my luggages? Where am I supposed to keep it? Yoongi, that's your problem. You should have came to yesterday itself. Jimin, yeah. If you would have told me that the university starts from today. Yoongi, as if I didn't told you. Jimin, you didn't, sleepy cat. He said, making two quotation with his hand. Jungkook, but how do you know these two? he said, pointing at Taehyung and Jimin. Oh, I know you too. You are also in first year, aren't you? Jungkook, yes, I am. But how did you know us? Jimin, this sleepy cat told me. Yoongi, I didn't told you. You took away my phone. Jimin ignored him as he kept his hand around the one standing beside him. Jimin, so as you already know, he is Hosyak. He is my best friend. I hope we can get along well. He smiled as everyone smiled at his dramatic way of introducing Jin. He is literally fun than you, he said to Yoongi, who just rolled his eyes. Soon there was bell as they saw Namjoon coming towards them. Namjoon, yeah, are you all? Aren't you supposed to be in classes till now? What are you doing here? Jin, oh, we are really sorry, baby. We were just talking to the new guy, he said as he ran towards Namjoon, holding his arms. Namjoon, alright, can we just go now? Or do you want to get late? Jin, yeah, sure, let's go. He said as they both bid their bye to others and left from there. Yoongi, cringy couple. Jimin, you are just jealous. He said as he took off his hand from Hoseok's shoulder and held Hyung's arms. Jimin, so can we go, Hyung? Yoongi, he is going to class. Didn't I told you he loves to study? And he's not gonna skip a class for you. Jimin, nobody asked you. If he wants, then he can say so no to me. You don't need to interfere in everything. Hosyak, go with this sleepy cat, please. He will show you around. Yoongi, alright. He said as he got up from there and left with Hosyak. Jimin, wow, I can't believe he got ready this soon. Taeyang and Jungkook chuckled. Taeyang, let's go then. Jimin, you can go to your class. I will go with Jungkook to get my timetable and he can leave me to my class since he is in same year with me. You shouldn't skip your class. He said as he took off his hand and smiled going towards Jungkook as they both went from there. Taeyang, for I missed the chance. Ah, he got up from his seat and left to his class. He met Yoongi on his way, who just left Hoseok to his class. Taeyang, oh, you already done? Yoongi, I'm gonna show him around in lunch. So yeah, Taeyang, wait, what? I could have done that too. Why didn't I thought about it earlier? He thought to himself as Yoongi looked at him and waved his hand in front of his face. Yoongi, what happened? Why did you zoned out so fast? Taeyang, nothing. They were walking towards their class as they noticed Jimin and Jungkook. But a guy approached Jimin. Yoongi, who is gonna tell him that he likes handsome men? Yoongi said, rolling his eyes as he entered inside the class. And Taeyang stood there, looking at them as he saw Jimin rejecting the guy. Taeyang, he has already gotten two proposals in the starting itself. Wow, such an amazing person. He gonna be becoming the heartthrob soon, he said to himself as he thought about Yoongi's words. He kept his hand in on his cheek and thought, Taeyang, I am handsome, right? Yeah, of course I am. He said to himself as he laughed and entered inside the class, going towards his seat. He did suited Jimin's type, but what if Jimin didn't fall for him? During the lunch break, Taeyang took Jimin to show around the university. He told Jungkook about his assignment that he didn't complete it and had to complete before the class that was after the lunch. It was an excuse that Taeyang made. Although Jungkook had really not completed it, Taeyang was happy to spend time with Jimin and the fact that he was actually taller than Jimin. Not much, but at least a little bit. So now he was sure that he perfectly fitted in Jimin's type. All he had to do was make Jimin fall in love with him. While he was talking to Jimin, he came to know that Jimin had known Taeyong from a while. I mean, from the starting of the University of Taeyong. When Yoongi showed him the pictures of his friends, he was more glad to listen that he was able to grab Jimin's attention out of all the friends standing there. It was photo of freshman's party, so mostly everyone was there except Jungkook, Jin, and Namjoon. Jungkook joined this year, and Namjoon and Jin were older than Suga and Taeyang. They had been couples from last 2 years and had been known to each other from their high school. Jungkook's parents were friends with Jin's parents, so they knew each other. And Yoongi had been with Jin and Namjoon in their high school. They all met Taeyang in university itself. Jimin had joined a little late since it was a small break after the university actually started. After the university, when everyone was leaving, Taeyang was a little bit confused since Jimin was going with them to their house. So he asked out of confusion, Taeyang, why is going with us, Yoongi? Because he's gonna stay there, Taeyang, in our apartment? Yoongi, yes. Why else do you think I took a apartment with 3 rooms? Taeyang, really? He said, getting excited as he heard that Jimin was gonna stay with them. They have been sharing apartment with each other, and in starting he was also confused. Why would Yoongi take a apartment with 3 rooms when it is just two of them? Yoongi, yes, I have been forced to keep him with me. Taeyang, that's nice. At least I would get bored in house anymore. I will have someone to talk with. Jimin, who was chatting with Hoseok, bid Hoseok goodbye as his house was on their way. They got to their house and Jimin joined them. He left his luggages outside and Yoongi had to bring it up. Yoongi, yeah, can't you just get it by yourself? Jimin, nah, I can't. That's why I left it outside. He said, looking around. Taeyang, come on, you both. Why are you fighting so much? Jimin, that's not my fault. He started. Yoongi, yeah. You are really very innocent, aren't you? Jimin, of course I am. He said as he went towards Taeyang. Jimin, Taeyang Sunway, please show me my room. Taeyang let out a chuckle as he walked Jimin towards his room as Yoongi had to take his luggage up to his room. After freshening up, Taeyang was lying on his bed, keeping one of his arms on his eyes. Taeyang, am I really in love? Is this what feels like to be in love with someone? Gosh, I never experienced it. Oh, my heart. I literally thought it will come out. Thankfully, it is saved. But will he fall in love with me? He is quite cute though, he said as he took off the hand that he was keeping on his eyes and looked at it. He loved every time Jimin held his hand and asked to do something, just like a cute kid. Taeyang kept his hands on his face as he blushed, thinking about them being together. Taeyang was very smart and he loved studying. He had always been a topper, so he have never thought about any relationship, neither do he have any type. He had never been in love earlier, and it was his first time experiencing it ever. But he was kinda sad because he have heard it many times that first love doesn't actually works. It is very rare to it to work. He had gotten many proposals in his high school and even in university. He was also one of the heartthrob in the university, but he just never paid attention to it. All he did was studies, but he wanted to try it out once. And the moment he saw Jimin, his heart thought that that's the man he wanted, although he had never had any type. He got up as he thought to help Jimin in arranging his stuffs and slowly walked towards his door. As he opened the door, Jimin fell on him as he held him, not letting him to fall down. Jimin was holding one of Taehyung's arm and another hand was on Taehyung's chest as they both looked at each other for a while.